Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to talk about enchanting items, weapons, armors in Diablo 4 because I feel like I've seen a lot of confusion from the community. So we're going to kind of go over the most efficient way of doing this. So what exactly is enchanting an item? Well, enchanting an item happens at the occultist right over here. So the occultist has the symbol on the mini map of this triangle with three circles, all right? So he's the one who also extracts aspects, he imprints aspects, and he's able to enchant items. Now, what exactly is enchanting? It says, enchant rare or legendary items by replacing an unwanted affix with a new one. Replace the affix as many times as you want by paying the cost for it. Now, the catch is, every time you want to replace one of these affixes, the cost goes up, and it kind of goes up exponentially. Like you end up going from, maybe 100,000 gold to 500,000 to 1.5 million, and after a while you're broke. You just can't afford to do it that many times in a row. But how do you do this most efficiently? Well, let's talk about the actual base item and weapon or gear that you're looking at. So here, for example, let's talk about this ghoul mob sacred rare two-handed mace that I got. Okay, there's nothing special about this, but we're gonna use this item as the example for how to do this efficiently. So there's legendary items and then there's rare items, right? If you enchant a rare item like this, it will cost you significantly less than if you enchant a legendary item. So ideally, if you get a really good god roll of an item, and it's a rare, it's a yellow, right? Then you want to enchant it before you do absolutely anything else to it. And I'm talking about even upgrading it, because there's three levels of expensiveness, okay? There's the cheapest, which is the raw weapon. You just found it, you want to upgrade it, that's the cheapest way to do it. Next, you've upgraded it 5 times at the blacksmith, and then finally is you've imprinted an aspect on it, it's become a legendary item, and then that's the most expensive way to do it. So let's just take a look at this, alright? So if I go to Demian, and I go to enchant item, and we look at ghoul mob, right? So we put it in here, we're able to enchant whichever slot we want, and it says it's going to cost us 73,923 gold to do it. Now, one important thing, okay? Whichever slot you end up choosing to enchant, that is the only slot you can enchant on that weapon. It's not like you can reroll all 4 affixes into different things. No. Ideally, you want to find a weapon that has 3 out of the 4 slots of what you want. And maybe 1 slot that's kind of mediocre and you want to reroll that slot. Well, once you reroll that slot, it locks it in. That's the only slot you're going to be able to reroll. Now, you can reroll this indefinitely if you have the gold, to do so. But that's the only slot you'll be able to reroll. So, as we saw here, the raw weapon, just by itself, is costing 73,000 to upgrade one of its slots. Not upgrade, sorry, to reroll one of its slots. Now, let's see what happens if I upgrade that weapon, right? So, let's upgrade this there to level 4 because I'm a little bit low on Forgotten Soul, so I'm not going to waste it on that. But we've upgraded to level 4. We're going back now to the occultist, and I'm going to show you the price difference. It's changed. It's gotten a little bit more expensive. So it went from 73,000 to 77,832. Okay, so it's gone up a little bit, and if I had gone to level 5, it would probably be above 80,000. So while it is more expensive, it's not a ridiculous amount more expensive. Now let's see the difference if I imprint something on that as well. So we're going to take this weapon and we're going to imprint something randomly from the Codex of Power. Alright, we're going to put it on here. And now this weapon has become legendary. So all of a sudden, now this is a legendary weapon. Okay, cool. So now let's do the price comparison. So we're going to go back here. We're going to put the item on here. And now look at that. It's 194,000 just to reroll 1 slot. Okay, so we're going to do this. We're going to indulge this. We're going to see exactly what happens. So let's say, for example, I don't care about damage to injured enemies. I'm going to take that and then I'm going to enchant it. All right, so once I hit enchant, watch what happens. It says you will not be able to cancel this, and enchanting an item binds it to your account, making it untradeable. All right, so we did it. Now, let's say you want plus 59 to all stats. That's cool. We can do that. We can also take plus 126 willpower instead, or we can say no change. So basically, you don't like anything that was offered, you can say no change and keep the current affix. And that's fine, but that just means you're going to re-roll again. So I'm just going to say, plus 59 all stats, fine. For the exercise purpose, we're just going to do that. And now, if I want to re-enchant this and re-roll it, look at that. It's gone from 172,000 to 972,000. That's like 6-7 times the amount that it was before. It's just absolutely exponential price increase. So you kind of want to do this once, twice, maybe 3 times if you're balling with a lot of gold. But that's pretty much all you're going to be able to afford. And it's not only gold that's the expensive part of this process, it's also these materials down here. Now, veiled crystals you get basically from any single elite enemy that you kill. They all have a chance to spawn this and drop it. It's very common, very easy, right? I have 1,000 of them. I'm never going to run out of veiled crystals. The other 2 materials, they are significantly more difficult to come by. Now, how do you get these materials? Well, let's talk about that. So, Fiend Roses. Where do we get Fiend Roses? Fiend Roses has 4 different locations where you can get them. Firstly, you can get them from the plants that look like roses in the Helltide locations. So they look exactly like this little rose picture that you see on the screen. And they're randomly placed in the Helltide location. As you're going from event to event, killing things, you're going to run into these. Make sure you activate them because they have a really good chance of dropping 2, 3, 4 roses at a time. That's probably going to be your best source of this. Another way of getting it is through the tortured chests that are in the Helltide events as well. So, let's say you want to spend your embers on a 75 ember chest, you have a chance of getting a Fiend Rose on that. Now, there's also a chance that every monster you kill might be able to drop a Fiend Rose, but it's very low chance. So it's, your easiest way of doing this is by finding these plants randomly through the Helltide, activating them, getting them to drop, and that's how you get your Fiend Roses. Technically, you can also get Fiend Roses from silent chests all throughout the world, but the drop rate is so abysmal that I almost don't even want to consider it as a way of potentially getting these Fiend Roses. So my recommendation is just while you're doing the Helltide, make sure you look out for these rose plants and you click them every time you see them, because you're definitely going to get a lot more this way than if you're trying it by chests or anything like that. Now, what about Forgotten Souls? Ooh, this is even more rare than the Fiend Roses. Okay? Just like the Fiend Roses, the Forgotten Souls also can drop from any enemy, but it is abysmal. Nobody's going to be dropping this realistically. So how do we get Forgotten Souls? You need to use the mystery chests in the Helltide event. Okay, so the mystery chests are the ones that cost 175 embers. They're the ones that are going to have the greatest chance of dropping Forgotten Souls. And their drop rate's not too bad. It's certainly better than relying on monster drop rates, again, in the Helltide region. So, to recap, these 2 materials, very expensive. Easiest way to get them is through the Helltide events. Fiend Roses, you find the plants on the ground, and Forgotten Souls, you use the 175 costing mystery chest in the Helltide ruins, and that's how you get it. And with that, you use to enchant legendary items. Okay, as we saw here, the gold increases exponentially with each reroll of the affix, so make sure you're prepared with enough gold on hand, right? One easy way to do this is just make sure you pick up every single yellow rare item that drops on the ground. I know it's going to fill your inventory really, really, really quickly, but you can just quickly teleport to town and sell it. A full inbox of rare yellow items usually yields me, I don't know, maybe around 3, 4, 500,000 gold at a time. You do this a couple times, and you're already ready to start rerolling your endgame gear. All right. So I hope you guys found this little tutorial on enchanting useful. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Alright guys, we'll catch you next time. See ya.